And welcome back to Pure Nebraska. Volunteers with the group Common Ground are always working to spread a positive message about agriculture to consumers. Today, we welcome another Common Ground volunteer to the studio.
Like any industry, there are terms that are often used that might not be totally clear to those outside of the industry. So joining us now to talk about this is Common Ground volunteer Leslie Boswell from the Shickley area. Nice to see you. Thank you for making the drive today.
Glad to be here.
You bet.
Yeah, and you brought corn with you.
I did bring corn with me. How?
Is this from your field, I'm guessing?
It's not.
Did
Just
you
grabbed it
stop
along the roadside on the way in?
I was going to bring one and I dashed off without
Well,
it.
that's
And I
okay.
thought, oh, darn it, I got to find one. So
Yep.
You found what?
I found one. Well, you know, it's kind of easy to find corn in Nebraska.
That's true.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, how's your corn looking right now in your fields?
Our corn is looking pretty good. It is getting to where it's stressing an awful lot in the afternoons. You can see it start to roll up a little bit. That's the corn trying to preserve the moisture in the leaves. And when it starts turning blue, you know that it's serious. It will actually turn blue as it loses its moisture.
Yeah.
And we are irrigating, and that does help, but the weather's hurting it right now. And it is pollinating now.
Yeah.
And the weather has a big effect on that also.
Leslie, I know you talk a lot to consumers about agriculture, and there are terms that people might be interested in, and one of them is detasseling. And we have some video of actually some kids actually going through the field, which we'll show of them detasseling corn, but maybe you could talk about what that means.
In Nebraska, with our irrigation, there is a lot of seed corn production. A lot of the companies have moved here because of our stable water supply that we can get to the corn plants. And as part of the seed corn production, they are taking male plants and female plants and planting them in a specific order so that the male plants will pollinate the female. But the female also has a tassel too, and they need to get rid of that so it's not cross-pollinating. So what they're doing, what these kids are doing, and it's a miserable job, is they're going along and they're pulling the tassels off the top of the corn plants so that the female plants are not pollinating the corn.
Oh, okay.
Do you have to do this, Leslie?
It's only for seed corn production. It is not for regular field corn production,
Okay.
so we don't.
Yeah.
But there's so much seed corn that is produced in Nebraska that there is a lot of this. It's usually young high school kids. They go out 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. They work until noon, try to beat the heat. They're slogging through the muddy fields because they're not turning irrigation off for this. It's hot, it's sticky, it's wet, and the edges of these corn plants are actually kind of serrated. So you'll see that they're wearing long sleeve shirts because they'll cut you up.
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
detasseling is for seed production.
For seed corn production. And generally, if you drive past a field and you'll see like 4 rows short and then 1 tall row or 2 tall rows, that would be seed corn production. The female rows have their detasseling, they've been detasseled, and the 2 male rows will be taller, and that is pollinating everything else. I've heard that 1 tassel is actually have enough pollen in it to pollinate almost an acre. And one of the things through breeding they're trying to work on is getting some of that energy that's put into the tassel reduced down so that more of it can go into producing corn.
Okay. One other term, quickly, is silking.
Silking on the ear. If I don't hit you with this, what comes out of the top, and if you eat sweet corn, you know what the silk is. This is all, there's 1 piece of silk attached to every kernel in the ear. And the pollen comes off the tassel down onto here, and for each silk, it goes down and it pollinates 1 kernel.
Wow.
So this is a very important part. Sometimes we've got bugs that'll come along and they'll eat all this silk off, and it won't pollinate. So that's something that we have to keep an eye on. This one actually has 2 ears on it. Generally, the second one doesn't come out as big, but it's not a bad thing if it doesn't pull too much energy out of the plant to take away from the 1 good ear.
Okay.
So,
Good.
but this is the silk. The tassel we pull off on seed corn, not on the other corn, but that's what pollinates the ear down here.
Good.
Leslie.
Education.
Yeah, a lot to learn today, and we're going to learn about a good recipe coming up, too.
I hope so.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Leslie.